Hello students, welcome to all of you Shiksha 360, and today basically we will cover the chapter number 2 part 1, very important topic. One more session I will take on that is AML KYC guidelines. Clear? AML KYC guidelines, and directly you will find in the examination many questions from that. Straightforward questions will be asked in the examination from this type of topic. So let's start our discussion. So first point here regarding the money laundering and the financing of terrorism risk. So there are differences between like money laundering, it is a different term. Black money, it is a different term. Clear? So first of all, in this session, we will discuss regarding that. What is money laundering? So money laundering, it is what? Money laundering, it is a process. Clear? Money laundering, basically it is a process whereby the origin of funds. Clear? Money laundering, it is a process whereby the origin of funds generated from the criminal activities. Clear? Money laundering, it is a process whereby the origin of funds generated from the criminal activities. What are the criminal activities which they are considering here, like drug trafficking, gun smuggling, corruption, etc. Clear? All this first one, drug trafficking, gun smuggling, corruption, etc. is concealed, and these funds are infused. Clear? And these funds are infused in the financial system. Clear? And these funds are infused in the financial system, appearing as if these are originated from the legitimate sources. Clear? So what is money laundering? Money laundering basically it is that way the funds actually generated from the criminal activities, and they manipulated the funds in such a way. Clear? And they manipulated the funds in such a way as they are appearing that these are to be originated from the legitimate sources. Clear? That is a legitimate, basically it means that from the genuine sources. Clear? From the genuine sources. Clear? How they manipulate. Clear? The way in which they are manipulating that, it will seem that it is to be originated from the legitimate sources. Next one, that is corruption, tax evasion, Ponzi schemes, and other financial crimes. Cyber crimes are closely connected with the money laundering. Clear? So all these are to be closely connected with the money laundering, that is corruption, tax evasion, Ponzi schemes, other financial crimes, cyber crimes are all are to be closely connected with the money laundering. Funds from these crimes, further that is funds from these crimes now form a substantial portion of the money laundering funds. Clear? Further, that is the financial crimes now constitute a significant part of the criminal activities. Clear? So earlier you will see that crimes, like we can say that due to her, we can say that basically there is a dispute between any two persons. Clear? That helps to a crime. Clear? Presently, financial crimes are also the constitute a significant part of the criminal activities. Clear? Significant part of the criminal activities, like cyber crime. Clear? Cyber crime basically plays an important role there. Clear? Or cyber crime basically it is an important part of that. Next one, that is the third component of the trade. Clear? First one, that is money laundering. Second one, that is the financial crimes here. That is third component here, that is the of this trade today, it is terrorist financing. Clear? Terrorist financing. Like you have heard that the demonetization, the main reason, one of the main reason of the demonetization is to stop the terrorist financing. Clear? But here, that is, they are saying the third component of the trade today, it is terrorist financing. With the growth of several terrorist organizations, big and small, terrorist financing has assumed large proportions. Clear? Terrorist financing has assumed a large proportion. So these are some of the important points regarding the money laundering. And I request all of you, please try to remember that these money laundering, black money, both are to be different terminologies. Clear? In the money laundering, the money it is to be earned by the illegal activities, but later on they will convert the money in such a way, clear, or manipulate the money in such a way that it assumes that it is to be originated from the legitimate sources. Clear? It is to be originate from the legitimate sources. Now move to the next point here. Terrorist financing, clear, terrorist financing further that is has developed linkages with the money laundering as for both purposes. Similar modalities were used. So thus money laundering, terrorist financing, and financial crimes are interconnected. Clear. Sometimes they will ask ML that is money laundering, FC that is financial crime. Third one that is the terrorist financing. Clear. Third one that is the terrorist financing. All are to be interconnected. Next one. Another aspect is that certain criminals have organized into clear certain criminals have organized into two groups. First one that is the OCG, that is organized crime groups. Second one that is the professional money launderers. Clear, professional money launderers. Clear. Even some persons have established business in this field, that is earn the money from the illegal sources and convert them into the legitimate sources. Clear, and convert them into the legitimate sources. Clear. Like one more word that is the hawala, through the hawala transactions. Clear. So this is a different thing. Clear. This is a different thing which we will discuss later. Clear. What is the meaning of the hawala transactions? Okay. So another aspect is that certain criminals have organized into organized crime groups and professional money launderers. OCG, that is organized crime groups and the professional money launderers together form the network. Clear. Together form the network that propagates criminal activities. Clear. Organized crime groups and professional money launderers together form the network that propagates criminal activities. Clear. That propagates criminal activities and launders the funds generated from such activities. Clear. And launders the funds generated from such activities. Okay. And launders the funds generated from such activities. Further, FATF. Clear. So this is a, we can say that a committee or a organization formed to stop these types of things. Okay. So FATF, Financial Action Task Force. If you are preparing for the promotion examination, so these types of things are very, very important for the examination point of view, for the promotion examination also. Clear. So Financial Action Task Force, Financial Action Task Force, it is a global organization was set up. Clear. Global organization basically was set up for evolving measures to be taken. Clear. Global organization was set up for evolving measures to be taken by financial sector business. Clear. Basically by financial sector business and certain non-financial business and professions for prevention of money laundering. Clear. Basically for what that is, for prevention of money laundering. Clear. So this plays also an important role there. Next one. FATF, Financial Action Task Force, issued certain recommendations that serve as an anti-money laundering, AML. Clear. In the starting of the session, we will discuss 2 points, two full form, that is first one that is AML, second one that is CFT. Clear. So AML that is anti-money laundering, and second one that is CFT, that is combating financing of terrorism. Clear. Combating financing of terrorism. Clear. So FATF issued certain recommendations that serve as anti-money laundering and combating financing of terrorism. Clear. And combating financing of terrorism are known as FATF. Clear. Are known as FATF. Standards 2012. Money laundering and terrorism financing are considered as criminal activities across the world. Clear. So these are to be considered as the criminal activities. Sometime in the examination, they will ask which of the following are to be considered as the criminal activities across the world. So here, money laundering and the terrorism. Clear. Kindly remember 2 points. First one that is the money laundering. Second one that is the terrorism. Clear. Money laundering and the terrorism financing are considered to be as the criminal activities across the world. Now next one, sure question you will find in the examination. Clear. Like this is the sequence. It is also important. Clear. Sequence here. I will write here sequence here also important. Like how the cycle will continue. Clear. How the cycle will continue. What is the first stage? What is the second stage? And what is the third stage? Clear. This complete plays an important role. So now let's discuss regarding that, what they are trying to say here. What are the stages of the money laundering? I request to also kindly write this point in your notebook also. Clear. While revising, this is the most important. So funds from the criminal activities. Funds from the criminal activities are typically generated outside the financial system. Clear. Are typically generated outside the financial system and are placed in it to give them a legal form. Clear? Earlier, basically, they are generated from the illegal way, and they will put in the system in such a way that it seems that it is to be, and are placed in such a way that it is in the legal form. Clear? It is to be in the legal form. So what are the stages? So this money laundering cycle comprises three stages. Clear? So this money laundering cycle basically compiles or comprises three stages, which are to be given as below. Clear? Which are to be given as below. First one, that is the placement. Second one, that is the layering. Third one, that is the integration. Clear? First one, placement, layering, and integration. How it plays? Like placement. So in this stage, what will happen? Placement, that is in this stage, PLI, profit linked incentive. Please remember that this is the thing how you have to remember that. Clear? Presently, all of you basically will get at least one time PLI. Clear? In some banks in the first year, because this is as per the bipart settlement. Clear? So PLI, this is the stages of the money laundering, that is profit linked incentive, that is placement, layering, and integration. So in this stage, the funds from the criminal activities, clear? First one, that is the funds from the criminal activities are introduced into the financial system. Clear? The funds from the criminal activities are introduced into the financial system. So typically, how it is done? That is, you have to deposit the amounts in different accounts. Clear? Deposit the amount in different accounts. So typically, this is done through the deposits in multiple bank accounts. Clear? So how it will be done? Typically, this is done through deposits in multiple bank accounts. Second one, layering. Next, that is those funds are passed. Clear? Next point, that is those funds are passed through numerous financial transactions. Clear? Those funds are passed through the numerous financial transactions in these accounts, creating several layers of the funds transfer. Clear? Creating several layers of the fund transfer, and this helps in hiding the source of these funds. Clear? Next one, that is now, first of all, they will deposit the amount. Clear? After that, they will transfer the funds into the different accounts. Clear? Like further to further transfer, so that it becomes very difficult to track. Clear? So next one, that is the placement, that is first of all place the funds in the bank. Next one, that is layering, converting it into different accounts. Clear? Or sending. So next, those funds are passed through numerous financial transactions. The next one, that is those funds are passed through numerous financial transactions in these accounts, creating several layers of funds transfer. Clear? Creating several layers of fund transfer. And this helps further, that is this helps in hiding the source of these funds. Clear? This helps in hiding the source of these funds. Next point here, that is the integration. Clear? Next point here which we have to cover here, that is the integration. So next step is collecting the funds. Clear? Next step here, that is it is collecting the funds lying in the multiple accounts. Clear? Next point here, that is next step here, it is collecting the funds lying in the multiple accounts in one or few accounts that are then deployed for investing in some legal business activities. Clear? Next step here, it is to be collecting the funds lying in the multiple accounts. Clear? Lying in the multiple accounts in one or few accounts that are then deployed. Clear? That are then deployed for investing in some legal business activities. Clear? That are then deployed for investing in some legal business activities or for acquiring some asset in the legitimate manner. Clear? Or for acquiring some asset. Clear? Or for acquiring some asset in the legitimate matter. Clear? Or for acquiring some asset in the legitimate matter. Clear? So this one, that is the integration. That is next step basically in that it is collecting the funds. Clear? That is collecting the funds lying in multiple accounts. Clear? Lying in multiple accounts in one or few accounts that are then deployed. Clear? That are then deployed for investing in some legal business activities. Clear? That are then employed for investing in some legal business activities or for acquiring some asset in the legitimate matter. Clear? Or for acquiring some asset in the legitimate matter. Clear? That is to be comes under the integration. Clear? So these are the stages of the money laundering. First point here, that is the placement. Second one, that is the layering. Third one, that is the integration. Clear? Third one here, that is the integration. Now move to the next point. Kindly remember that first of all, that is PLI. Just remember this point, that is PLI. P stands for the placement, L stands for the layering, and I stands for the integration. Clear? And I stands for the integration here. Now move to the next point. What are the stages of financing of terrorism? Clear. Now, what are the stages? Clear. So here, what is that? Stages of the money laundering. Clear. So we have discussed three words here, that is money laundering, financial crimes, and terrorist financing. Clear. Now next one, that is terrorist financing. Clear. So what are the stages of the terrorist financing? Clear. So please remember that money laundering, that is PLI. Terrorist financing, now we will discuss here. Clear. What are the stages of the terrorist financing? So there are numerous terrorist outfits in the world or organization. So these have financial cycles. These have to be financial cycles similar to the commercial entities. Clear? These have to be the financial cycles similar to the commercial entities, and use banks and financial institutions. Clear? And they have to use banks and financial institutions. Clear? So there are numerous terrorist outfits in the world, and these have the financial cycles similar to the commercial entities, and use banks and financial institutions. Clear? And use banks and financial institutions. So financing of the terrorism comprises the following stages. Clear? Financing of the terrorism comprises the following stages. Clear? First one here, that is the raising. Raising, that is collecting the funds. Clear? Or sourcing the funds. Clear? Raising here basically means that collecting the funds or sourcing the funds. So terrorist organizations source funds from the sympathizers. Clear? Terrorist organization basically source funds from the sympathizers, both individuals and the organizations. Clear? That is both individuals and the organization. Sometimes terrorist outfits also engage in various income generating activities, legal or criminal. Clear? Sometimes terrorist outfits are also engaged in various income generating activities. Clear? That activities, either it is to be legal or it is to be criminal. Challenging funds from both such sources. Clear? Challenging funds, channeling, that is channeling basically we can say that rotating funds, or we can say that manipulating the funds. Clear? Manipulating the funds. Channelizing funds from both such sources. Clear? Basically from both such sources is done in a clandestine manner. Clear? So can anyone tell what is the meaning of that? Clandestine, basically it means that secret manner. We cannot say that not legal. Clear? It is not legally manner. Clear? Not legally, and it is to be secret and not legally manner. Clear? So channelizing the funds from both such sources. Clear? Channelizing the funds from both such sources, it is done in a clandestine manner, so that the purpose of which these are collected, it is to be not known. Clear? That is, it is to be unknown. Clear? So channelizing the funds from both such sources is done in a clandestine manner, so that the purpose for which these are collected is to be unknown. Clear? It is not known. Clear? Unknown, or we can say that it is not known. Clear? So that is to be known as the raising. Clear? That is to be known as the raising. Now next one, that is the moving. Clear? That is how they will move the funds. Clear? So moving, that is contributors to the terrorist organizations can be located anywhere, not only in their home country. Clear? Like we can say that if there is any terrorist organization of any one country. Clear? So it does not mean that they will generate funds basically from specific that country where it is to be located. Clear? That firm, it is to be at any place. Clear? That firm, it is to be at any place. So contributors to the terrorist organizations cannot be located anywhere, not only in their home country, but across the world. Clear? But it is to be across the world. And these funds are therefore, clear further, that is these funds are therefore required to be moved to the places of their establishments of the terrorist organization. Clear? Further, that is these funds are therefore required to be moved to the places. Clear? Are therefore required to be moved to the places of their establishment of the terrorist organizations. Clear? Of their establishments of the terrorist organizations. Clear? So first one, that is the raising. Second one, that is the moving. Third point, that is storing. Clear? So how they will kept these funds? So that is, as the funds raised may be deployed. Clear? As the funds raised may be deployed for the terrorism related activities, including the regular activities for running the outputs with a gap of time and spread over a period, clear, with a gap of time and spread over a period. So these are parked in the interim bank accounts or any other financial investment, clear. Even they will kept these funds in the bank accounts or in any other investment, clear, so that they will keep out their funds whenever they will require, clear, whenever they will require. Okay, so storing here, that is, as the funds raised may be deployed for the terrorism related activities, including the regular activities. Forward, that is for running the outputs with the gap of time and spread over a period. And further, that is, these are parked in the interim in bank accounts, that is in the meanwhile in the bank accounts or any other financial investment. Fourth point here, that is the using, clear, using. So finally, the funds, raised funds, are used for the purpose of carrying out the terrorism act or for various organizational or related activities, clear. Further, that is the last point here, that is finally the raised funds, clear, finally the raised funds are to be used, clear, finally the raised funds basically are to be used for the purposes of carrying out the terrorism act, clear, for the purposes of carrying out the terrorism act or for various organizational related activities, clear, or for various organizational related activities, clear, or for various organizational related activities, clear. So kindly remember all these points, clear, kindly remember all these points that are very, very important for the examination point of view, clear. So now what are the stages of the financing of terrorism, clear? Now what are the stages of the financing of the terrorism? First one, that is the raising. First of all, we have to raise the funds. Second one, that is the moving, clear. First one, that is the raising of the funds. Second one, that is the moving. Third one, that is the storing. Fourth one, that is the using, clear. Third one, that is the storing. Fourth one, that is the using, clear. So kindly remember all these points, that is raising, moving, raise the funds, moving the funds, storing the funds, and last one, that is the using the funds. So we have discussed first of all, we will discuss regarding the stages of the money laundering. Next one, we will discuss regarding the stages of the financing terrorism. Now, next one, basically for that, there will be the AML, clear, that is anti-money laundering framework in India, clear, anti-money laundering framework in India. So based on the Financial Action Task Force recommendations in India, PMLA Act, sometime in the examination, basically when this act was enacted, basically in the year 2002, clear. PMLA Act was enacted under which few obligations basically for all the financial sector players and certain non-finance business has been stipulated, clear, that is they have formulated the guidelines for them, clear, that is they have formulated the guidelines for them, and that is basically as per the under the FATF recommendations, clear, FATF recommendations. Only on the recommendation of that PMLA Act was to be enacted in India. These entities, and what these entities are have a special name, clear. So these entities in the India, clear, these entities in the India or in the financial sector and the designated business in the non-financial sector are termed to be as the reporting entities, clear. So who are to be termed, that is these entities like which they have present here, that is financial sector place, clear. So these entities in the financial sector and the designated business in the non-financial sector, clear, and the designated businesses in the non-financial sector are termed to be as the reporting entities, clear, are termed to be as the reporting entities, clear. So kindly remember that. Now, next one, that is FIU. Clear, we will discuss in the next session like what is the time period for reporting those transactions, clear. Sometime in the examination, you will find also that. And like if you are preparing for the KYC AML exam, clear, KYC AML exam, in that also you will get questions from this topic, clear. In that exam also you will get questions from this topic. So Financial Intelligence Unit India, that is FIU India, has been set up, clear. So this unit has been set up for receiving information, clear. So this unit basically has been set up for receiving information about various financial transactions, clear, about various financial transactions from the certain businesses, clear, about various financial transactions basically from the certain businesses, including banks and financial institutions, clear, including the banks and financial institutions. Here FIU India, that is Financial Intelligence Unit India, also has supervisory powers over the business entities, clear, also have supervisory powers over the business entities and that are subject to the PMLA, clear, and that are subject to the PMLA, clear. So that is financial intelligence unit, clear. This is basically for setup for what? That is for various financial transactions from certain businesses. Next one, that is enforcement directorate, clear. That is, it is the investigation agency, clear. Enforcement directorate, it is the investigation and prosecuting authority, clear. Enforcement directorate, basically it is the investigation and prosecuting authority for the money laundering crime, clear. Enforcement directorate, basically what is that? It is the investigation and prosecuting authority, clear. It is the investigation and prosecuting authority for the money laundering crime, clear. Basically for what? For the money laundering crime. So the powers of the enforcement directorate here, clear. The powers of the enforcement directorate basically include tracking and attaching the assets, clear. The power of the enforcement directorate here basically that is tracking and attaching the assets relating to the money laundering, clear. So what are the powers? That is the powers of the enforcement directorate here basically include tracking and the attaching assets, clear. Tracking and the attaching assets related to the money laundering, clear. Tracking and the attaching assets basically related to what? Related to the money laundering. Next point here, that is the special courts, clear. Next point here, third one, that is the special courts. So special courts are set up, clear here, that is the special courts are basically set up for adjudication of the cases, clear. Special courts are to be set up here basically for what? For the adjudication of the cases pertaining to the money laundering crime, clear. So special courts are to be set up here for adjudication of the cases pertaining to the money laundering crime, clear. Pertaining to the money laundering crime. The adjudicating authority, clear here, that is the adjudicating authority has the powers, clear. The adjudicating authority basically has the powers to freeze the assets, clear. The adjudicating authority has the powers to freeze the assets and even confiscate the assets provided to be related to the money laundering, clear. So the executing authority here, that is, has powers, clear. The executing authority basically has powers to freeze the assets and even confiscate the assets provided to be related to the money laundering, clear. Provided to be related to the money laundering, that is, they have to be kept under their control. Last point here, that is the regulators of the various business activities, clear. Last point here, that is the regulators of the various business activities covered under the PMLA issue operating instructions and guidelines for the business regulated by them for discharging their obligations under the PMLA and PMLR, clear. And PMLR, clear. So kindly remember all these points. Hope all of you are able to remember, that is what is the role of the AML framework in India, that is on the basis of FATF guidelines, clear. Please remember that on the basis of the FATF recommendation in India, that is PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act was enacted, clear. Prevention of Money Laundering Act was to be enacted here, okay. So next one, that is money laundering offense and money laundering. We will discuss all these things regarding the customer definition, and very, very important, what are the 4 key elements of the KYC policy, that is CAP, customer acceptance policy, CIP, that is customer identification procedure, risk management and monitoring of transaction, clear. All these things, along with that some other important points, I will cover in the next session. And in the next session we will cover this topic, clear. In the next session we will cover this topic, and after that we will discuss some of the questions related to that, clear. Some of the questions related to that, this point, the whatever we have discussed in this session, all are to be basic points, and definitely you will get 1 or 2 questions whatever we have discussed today from that point, clear. From that point definitely you will get 1 or 2 questions. So thanks to all of you for joining this session.